Okay, guys, so welcome back to this brand new week, our Enigma Strategy week ahead webinar, and we're going to be looking at the major pairs. I hope everyone is well, and you've had a really good bank holiday weekend. So this month has been very slow. There's not been a lot of stuff out there, to be honest, which is why it's been quite. There's not been putting it too much stuff on the Enigma pages, but as we go into this week, hopefully the markets will start to open up and there'll be some nice opportunities for us. So I'm going to start with the trade that we've put out this morning. It's USDCAD. I just want to show you around the chart and seeing what we see and why we are liking this. It's a really nice long-term hold, actually. I'm going to start from the daily. So as you can see, we've got this lower high here that formed last month, and we've had another lower low here, and another lower high, so two lower highs, which tells us that we are at the start of a new, or potentially at the start of a new downtrend to the downside. I also quite like going to the weekly, and there is no doubt about this. There's a fractal here, really interesting pattern that's been repeated here and here. So this is why I'm liking more downside on this, that we could have another repeat of this fractal here, and I'd love to see this kind of massive sell-off, really quick sell-off. So let's just go into this in a bit more depth here. Okay, so we've got a nice 5-wave move down here, clearly impulsive, and we've got the divergence between 4 and 5, which is really, really important. You must get the divergence between wave 4 and 5. So clearly this is a impulsive move to the downside, and if we actually look to the structure on the right here, this is very, very corrective. You can see it's full of ABCs and zigzags here, whereas this is smooth, quick sell-off to the downside. So this tells me that this is going to fall again quite hard, and we are looking to take profit at least at the 130.238, at least around this zone here. So I imagine we might get a look. I imagine we may get a retest on the trend line, but it looks like we've had a small one on the hour here, which is why we put the trade out. It had some of this long wick here, which suggests that price has rejected this level, and down we go. So we're liking USDCAD for the downside, and this will take probably, I imagine, the rest of the week, if not into next week, to take us all the way down to that target area. But definitely a nice trade that we can have. If you've got any questions, though, guys, please do ask away. And if you put it in the chat box here, and when I get a moment, I can have a look at that. And any questions you've got, please do ask. Or there's a pair you want to look at, or anything at all, just let me know. Okay, so moving on, we're going to move to Euro USD. So I've had a look at Euro USD now this weekend, just very quickly. It is difficult. It's a difficult one, but I do think we're going to be seeing some more upside, at least in the short term, before we move down again. So on the 4-hour, we've got again a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down, and I look like we're doing this this flat correction here, where we have an ABC that's contained in a box like this. Okay, and the first A wave will be 5 waves, and then we've got a 3-wave. B wave is always 3 waves. So at the moment, I am looking for some upside on Euro, at least to touch 112.50. So I think last week we had this really strong impulsive move up. Let's go to the hour. Yeah, so we had this really, really nice strong move up, and I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is our correction. So I'm thinking as the week goes on, we should see a really strong rally up to here, and this is an area where we can start shorting. So I'm looking at shorts up from here. Now, there's always the chance that this actually could be part of a wider correction. So we could have, so this could be A. Let's move this, guys. This could be A. We'll have B and C. So actually what it would be is a WXY. And I'm always worried about this, seeing WXY. Do you get a lot of double corrections, especially when it's time of uncertainty? So I wouldn't be surprised if we did have this kind of WXY structure and we actually finished higher. But really important here, very, very important, we will always get the bounce. We will always get the bounce here off of this level here. So the best way I usually take these are through a buy limit. Okay, we take a buy limit here because we will 100% get a bounce of at least, use my fib, it will go at least to the 2.38. And possibly down to the 0.382. So buy limits and sell limits are really useful because even though we might be saying that we get a double correction here and price will go much higher, at least we can get our stops to break even. It's a free trade and we can take some profit of around 50 pips. So there will be a bounce here. There has to be a bounce because to do a WXY, we have to make the X wave, and this would be the X wave here. Okay, and the X wave is typically, usually it's around 50% of our W here, and then we move to our Y. So I'm going to be putting out something, if we do rally above today, if we manage to create another new high above this one here, then I'll be looking to think about putting my stops. This won't be until the end of the week, but a sell limit. This is a sell limit, not a buy limit. A sell limit here. And essentially we just sell the bounce down to our wave X. Now that clearly we might have it, this might just be a normal flat correction, in which case we can take it down to the bottom of value, and this is our value box, and that will be here. Okay, so usually when we're in a box of value, price will go to the top and then to the bottom of value, and this would be our take profit, so 200 pips away. So things setting up for the euro, not quite ready yet on that front. Has anyone got any questions about the euro? Anything at all about the euro? Okie doke. If you do have any questions, guys, just ask. There's no problems to go over anything you might have or a question about trading. Okay, so let's move on to pound USD. Okay, so the pound is, pardon me, looking a bit like this at the moment. This is what I've got anyway. I'm going to start and just get it out there. I can see the pound going to 116 to 110, and I see that happening before Christmas. Right now, so you know the sentiment is bearish. I'm very bearish on the pound because there's nothing new really to sway me. We can see again here we go from a recent high or a high back in April. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the lows here, and so this could be my 5 here, and now we've got some divergence. Although this is the thing, we don't actually have divergence between 4 and 5, which is always something I look for. Always look for that as a qualifying feature of a wave 5. We don't have it here, but we do have the rally above this significant high here. So this is why I've labelled it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, on the 4-hour chart, it's kind of this expanding, broadening wedge here, but we have rallied quite significantly. This is all very corrective, isn't it? It's all very wishy-washy, tight. There's no impulsive moves in here on the larger scale anyway. In terms of where this is going to be going, I can see this. There's two scenarios here at the moment. Let's just take this away. It's a bit like the euro. So we've got an A, B, C to finish this whole trend, this whole down move to the downside. And we've obviously gone past the equal legs here because wave A and wave C need to be of the similar length. So if it's not that, then this looks like this could be doing a double correction, as in what is possible for euro. Because don't forget, we need to be correcting the whole of this sequence here. So as the Elliott wave theory suggests, that when we have finished a 5-wave move down, we get a 3-wave move up, which will correct around about to the wave 4. Okay, so typically, as the theory says, we'll see a bounce to a wave 4, and then we see another move to the downside, and this would be wave 1. This would be wave 2 of a larger degree. Now, because we are talking about the pounds, and it's a very binary pair at the moment, and it seems to be going against the theory quite a lot. It's hard to say. It's hard to actually say, oh, it's going to be going to the top of wave 4 and then down again, because it's so led by news events, and the fundamentals seem to be taking over much more with the pounds than the technicals do, which is why it makes it so difficult to get a grasp on what is going on with it. But nevertheless, we can still try. So ABC here. This could be the end of this leg. If it's not, then we're going to be seeing something like this. And then that would open the door for us to actually be coming near this zone here, this seller's zone here. You can see we've got we've got a box here. So I think we get anywhere towards this zone here, we can start thinking about selling. But if we break this high, if we break 123, it's very likely then that's let's just have a look. That could be our B there. That we'll be heading up to this zone. Yeah, and that will be here. So that possibly could be the finish of our B here, and we can now be moving up towards the top here. I'm not really keen on buying the pounds because it's just, like I say, very, very difficult to get it right. This may not even finish here. We could have a very, very short C wave, and because the theory keeps getting blown out of the water by the fundamentals, I'm really not liking buying it. But selling it, I like to sell it. But in the minute, there's no setups as such for me. So I'm just going to keep looking at it in the hope that then there is a nice one here, actually. I'm just looking. And then we could do something like this. So if we go back into value, if we do go back into value, I'd like to see a sort of this is obviously support here. So we could pierce value, find support, and then we could sell the top of value. That would be the much safer opportunity here because we know the bias is to the downside. So we can wait for that to happen, but will not happen for a few. I imagine this will take at least a day or so to find its way back up to the top of value. But that's something that could be setting up for us nicely. Any questions about the pound? Any questions about the pound? Nope. Okay. So yeah, we need to wait on this one. But let's just go to the daily. So I just want to show you. There's a weekly. Okay. Right. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So our wave 3. It will be around about 111. 111. Actually, we can find out where that's going to be by taking our fib. No, it's not. It's going to be 104, 105. So if we do see that really strong move to the downside, the pound is going to kill itself with an axe to the throat, and it will die a horrible death by going down to 105. And I can definitely see that happening because we are at new lows already, and you can see. Oh no, not quite. Not quite. But if we do breach this level, then there's nothing to stop the pound just dying. And once it's in this kind of this cycle to the downside, we have to kind of finish the cycle. Ultimately, parity with the dollar. I think so. I think if we don't get a significant development in the this no deal scenario, then there, I ask people what reason can you give me why we won't be going to parity? Because we had GDP figures about 3 weeks ago. They were poor. We were down 2.1%. So the economy is not doing fantastically well. I know unemployment figures are quite good, but I'm very bearish on the pound. But what do you think? Are you bearish? Let me know what you think. Or bullish? Anyway, let's wait for a break above this high, which looks like we might have it very soon. If we get it, then I assume we'll be going up higher to 125, around about, if we were to follow Elliott wave theory. Yen is again really tough at the moment because the dollar is rubbish. But I've just tweaked things up here. So we've got a triangle on the weekly here. So we've got an A, B, C, D, E. Off we go. Okay. So it looks like we've come off of this really strong support here. And you can see on a weekly chart, this goes right up to next year, into next year and beyond. We've come off the support. It looks like now we're going to be rallying up towards this backup higher. Let's just go to the daily. So let's look at these candles here. So we had this nice rejection bar here, came off of this level, rejected straight away. Now to confirm this pattern, we do need to see a break above the last significant high, which would tell us that the buyers are sort of back in control here, because you can see all we've got is a series of lower lows and lower highs. So at the moment, right now, we are still in this bearish trend, and we do need to see some significant movement here, which we have. We're in this kind of this box again. Okay, so you're in this box of value here, and we need to break above value, and I would say that would be here, top of that wick here. So I'd like to see a break above. Retest, and then off we go. And in terms of setup, guys, there's no real setup here, is there? We're ranging, with prices trying to find out what it wants to do. There's no on trade here at all. There's nothing that we can take here. We just have to wait and watch and to see what happens. Okay, so I think we will know by the end of the week where the US dollar is going with the yen. I mean, the yen is very strong at the moment because gold is being a bit of a safe haven. But I mean, long term, I wanted to just show you guys what I think is going to be happening, but we need this to be broken before I can start really looking at these patterns in here and thinking about going in on a long-term trade, because there's another, look, we have another value box here, and this could be nice. If we break this box, retest, then we could possibly take this back up to value. There's 200 pips up for grabs there, so there is something in the pipe work here, guys, but we just need to be patient and wait, because you know, price, it could just tank, couldn't it? It could just tank, and then, which will be good for us. I mean, yeah, of course, any movement is good, but we just need to know exactly. We need to be sure on the trend, really, and not trading in the middle of value like this. Okay. Any questions about USDJPY? Any questions at all? Okay. Right, next we've got gold. So this is gold. My count hasn't actually changed for gold. This has been the same for several weeks now. Thankfully, haven't had to change the chart. So this is the daily. We're looking now to retrace. Okay, here. So as you can see, let's get to the short term. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is clearly a wave 4 here. Very, very clearly a wave 4. And then we had that really high push to 4, 5, 15, 50 back end of last week. And now we're looking to find support again before we go off to around about 1650. But we need to see a price to sell off. But we are sat at the moment on this level here. So we're looking to make, just to see a 5-wave move down to the downside, at least going to 1480, 1492, at least to this area, back into value, okay, and finding supports. Finding support here. As you can see, we are actually stuck at the top here on support, but price does need to retrace. We have to have a retracement of some kind in order to make this wave 4 on a larger degree. Okay, so we have to make this wave somehow, and that means we have to come down. It's going to be at least to 14, around here at least, but I'm favouring 1430, 1440 here. And this would give us the momentum then to push up to our last high, which will be around 1650. So this phase, this wave 4, what should we call it, is going to take at least 2 weeks. It's going to be very, very corrective. It's going to be very stilted and rangy. So I imagine this will take the most of September to make. You know, corrections do take a long time to play out. So, but at least down to 1438 on gold. All right. There's nothing really setting up unless we blow past this level here. If we were to, I think if we were to, I think if we breach this low here, then we can think about selling. And our stops would be above the last high here. Okay, and then we just take this down to the bottom of value. That's what I'm looking at the moment, but again, it's need to see a very, very clear impulsive move down, even just a wick, break that low, and then we can short it down to the bottom, and that is $300 pips. So still really good, but it's not ready yet. Okay. Any questions about gold, guys? Any questions? Okay, so that's it for now. That's sort of the major pairs all sorted. Again, like I said at the start, not a lot on. I've been through the FX stuff. Again, it's not a huge things that I like. We need to wait until the volume comes back next week, and then we can start to think about looking at other pairs and stuff. But there's a few things setting up here, but we just need to be really, really patient in August and just hold back and not rush and stuff. Okay, guys. So I'm back on Friday at 12:30. Hopefully, there's a bit more movement, and at least we might be able to actually get into some stuff. Okay, so I will see you on Friday. Thanks again, guys, for popping in, and I'll see you then.